Hello SFDC folks. I hope everyone is doing good. So today I'm going to discuss about most frequently asked scenario based Salesforce developer interview questions. So this will be a series of videos that will each video will consist of one scenario based code implementation which are frequently asked by almost all organizations. They give a scenario to write a code, and that we have to implement as an interviewee. So I will start discussing with one particular scenario based question for today, and that I will show you how we can implement as a developer. How should we approach the implementation solution and get it done? So for today, we'll take one scenario which is most frequently asked almost by all organizations, which is to implement the roll-up summary functionality with Apex. For example, this is an account object. It has a related facility object. This is a custom object that I have created, and just I want to roll up the count of this particular facilities on the detail of this account. Somewhere I will create a field to store this value. So you can say that we can achieve this by creating a master detail relationship between facilities and account. But here, just there can be a situation when we have to create a lookup relationship between facility and account. Just like this, we have this facility custom object, and there is a account lookup relationship. We don't want master detail for several reasons. Some of them could be like, we don't want to make this account as a mandatory field for facility, and also whenever account is deleted, we don't want the facility record to be deleted. It should exist independently, and that's why it has been decided to create a lookup relationship with account. But at the same time, a requirement comes that we have to roll up the number of facilities associated with each account so that it can be populated somewhere on the detail page. So if you go to account object and try creating a roll up summary field just to roll up the facility records, I will just show you that it is not possible for lookup relationship. Let me name it as anything for now because I won't get this opportunity to create this field. It will ask for the object, summarized object, which I want to roll up. So see, facility will not be the option because it is not in a master data relationship with account. So for this purpose, we have to go through custom coding, which is through Apex. We have to implement this functionality. So before get into coding, first what we have to do is we have to create a normal number type of field, which will store that information, the roll up information. So let me give the name as facility rollup. Okay, let it be a normal configuration, and just we just want to create a new field that will store the information that we will be pushing through our Apex class. Now, being a developer, I should have the ability to think of the best approach that I can implement to achieve this functionality. So, as a developer, I will think like I should write a trigger on facility object which will trigger every time a new facility is created or deleted, so that and then perform the logical operation to update that field which I have created just now with the value or the count of facilities that it has. So currently that field will have nothing in it. See, this is what we have to update via trigger. So let's go to our developer console. We will quickly create one Apex trigger and make sure the trigger is written on facility object. The reason being, every time the facility is created or deleted, it will impact the accounts field, the new field that we have created. So the event is occurring on the facility object. So the trigger should be written on facility only. Let's select the object as facility. Now you need to decide which all events you want to use. It is sure that insert event will be used because every time new facility will be inserted, I have to sum up the facilities and put it into the account record page. And then also delete will be there, but how will you decide whether you want to use before or after? So there is a best practice which says that if you are writing a trigger on one object, but in the logic operation you want to update another object. For example, here The triggering point is facility, but we want to update the account record, the field that we just created. We want to update this field which is on account record. So if this is the situation, then we should always use after event, after insert. Okay. But if the situation was like trigger is going to be written on facility and I want to update the fields of facility object only, then at that time we must have used before event. I hope this is clear. Similarly, whenever a facility is deleted, at that time also I have to update the account record with a decreased value, roll up value. So it will be also after delete, after, because the trigger is on facility, but the field that we want to update is on a different object, which is account. So the event thing is now clear. We will proceed with the logic operation now. So first of all, I will run a loop over facility object. So now the most important thing is we have to make use of bulkification. So we cannot think like only one facility record will be inserted at a time. It is not a good practice. We should always think that multiple or bulk facility records are inserted into system, and we should consider all of them. The trigger will fire, and all the new facilities that have been inserted or updated, they will come under facility trigger dot new. There is a trigger context called trigger dot new. Here it is. Okay. So we have, this is also one of the best practices, that we should always consider bulkification. We should not consider that only one record has been inserted. It's always multiple records can be inserted, and trigger should be able to handle that. So one thing I would like to do is create a set of string that will store the id of the accounts related to those facilities which triggered this trigger. Let me name as account id set. Okay. So declaration is done. I will just now iterate the facility records, and inside this set I will put all the account IDs which are related to that facilities. So what am I doing? I'm just capturing the account IDs of those facilities which have triggered my trigger. Okay. So there is a lookup field into it which is called account. It will store the ID of it. You will get to know the use of that set. This loop only captures the ID of the accounts which are associated with those facilities. Now what we will do is we'll create a list of account to fetch those accounts, only those accounts which are related to these facilities only, not all the accounts that exist in my org, but only those accounts which are associated with my facilities that have triggered this trigger. Okay. So let's write I select ID, and we should always query that field which we want to update. So we want to update that facility roll up field. Let's query this field as well. Okay. Now we will make another inner query. I will show you what is the purpose of inner query here. From, and whenever we are making an inner query, we should always make use of the child relationship name. So this is my facility child object. In it there is a lookup field for account, and every lookup field has this column called child relationship name. So whenever I'm making an inner query, I should always use this name to fetch the child records. Okay. And since it's a custom object, it will have this double underscore r appended. Okay. So my outer query will look like this: from account where id in. Now you will get to know what is the purpose of this set that I created initially. Okay. This is used to just filter out only those accounts which are associated with my triggering facilities. So I am querying ID, and this field from account whose IDs are stored in this set. Also, along with that, I am querying the all the facilities related to these particular accounts. So this inner query I will just run once and show how it looks. Let's take one particular ID of it. it equals to this. How does it look? This inner query output, how does it look? See, it will give me one row where it will have ID, then the value of that field which is now blank, and another column called facilities which will contain all the details of my related facilities. Currently, I am querying only the ID of it, so it has stored ID. And if there are multiple facilities associated, so let me create one more facility into this, so it will return me two facility records. Let's name it as second and put some subscription charges as well. And if I refresh my query once now, then see this particular column has retrieved two records. So this is very useful using the inner query, so that in one single row I have my account details along with my related facilities as well. You can also include more fields into it. Let's say if there are other fields that I can query, let's include this subscription charges as well as part of my query. We might use in some complex situations. Okay, I will just put that query over here just to show you the difference. See, now it will include these two information about the facility, and they are comma separated. It will be returned as a one single list. So this row will have my list of all related facilities in a single row. Okay, so this is the purpose of using inner query. Now I will move forward. I will now iterate this particular list. I have now fetched all the accounts related to those facilities, including the related facilities as well. So this is how I will use my for each loop. Then here my actual logical operation will start. What logic I want to perform? I just want to uh, update my that field called facility roll up inside the account. So what will I do is I will just pull out that field called facility rollup, and I just want to store the number of facilities related to each account, so that I can get. I have already used that in my query. I just want to retrieve that. It should be like object name dot the related child relationship name. So this will return me the list of facilities related to that account. Then I just want to get the number of facilities. Then I will use the size operator. This will return me the number of facilities related to each particular account, and I will feed that value into this accounts facility rollup field which we have created previously. Now again, the next best practice that comes is we cannot update the account directly inside the for loop. We should first place these accounts inside a list and then update it after the loop. So let's create another list of account type, list to be updated. Hmm. Okay. I will just add each account inside this list. Then after the loop, I will just use the update DML operation to update this list of accounts. Okay. So if you can see, the logic is pretty simple. What we did is we just fetched all the account IDs related to the facilities that triggered, and then we fetched all the information related to those account IDs only, including the facilities related to them. And finally we just assigned the size of all the related facilities into the custom field that we created, then added those accounts into a list, then update them. Let's save this and go to check the output. Okay, so here we are now. This is, let's take this account as an example. If in the detail page, now you will see you have the blank, it is blank because yet we have not triggered our trigger as of now. We'll create one new facility record and then save it. Let's go to the detail page again. We should see that facility roll up field is now updated with 3. You see, this is kind of roll up summary only. Roll up summary field that we used to create for master detail object or master detail kind of field, which we have achieved through Apex trigger. Let me add one more facility. Fourth, save, and now it should update to 4 now. See, we are perform. This is the best scenario that it is seldom asked by the interviewers, just to check your coding ability and how you follow best practices in Apex. This particular trigger follows all best practices. That is, we have used the SQL query outside the loop, we have used the DML operation outside the loop, and we are also considering bulkification, and we are using appropriate uh, trigger events as well.